Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and today I am doing the Cozy Christmas book tag. This was originally created by Call Me After Coffee and I will link her tag down below. There are 8 questions and I have not looked at them, so let's get started. Question number 1, Twinkling Lights. What is the most beautiful book you own? Can I just point you to the series that I've been making on prettiest covers, because I haven't been able to narrow it down to the top 5 yet. I'm scared to do it. It hurts to choose 5 prettiest books on your bookshelf, let alone out of all of them. Probably honorable mentions for sure. Children of Blood and Bone, Beneath a Marble Sky, We the Drowned, and almost any book I look at. If you really want to see the books that I went through and decided were prettiest on each shelf, check out that series, because I've been doing that for a couple of months now. Number 2, The Perfect Tree. Will you pay more to get the prettiest edition of a book? Not generally, but there is a caveat to that. If I love the series like Graceling, if a prettier cover came out than the original one, which the remake covers are crap, then yes, I would pay to get those. Would I pay more? Not necessarily. To be fair, I did pay for the Illumicrate reprinting of Nevernight and God's Grave so that I have one full hardcover set. I also really like the UK covers. So I did pay more for that. Usually though, if it's something I already own, I bought the first edition, I don't go out and buy it again. I will ask for it for Christmas if it's more expensive than I want to pay, or I just won't do it, because despite my hauls, I am actually sometimes cheap. Number 3, Build a Snowman. Make a Christmas book stack. I went with color for Christmas because Christmas to me means blue. Winter, snow. I realize snow is white, but for whatever reason it always appears blue in animation. Anyway, so I went with these ones. We have The Golem's Eye, which is the second in the Bartimaeus trilogy by Jonathan Stroud. We have Pandora's Locks, which is a nonfiction about the shipping locks in the Great Lakes. Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik, which is a fantasy retelling of Rumpelstiltskin, if I'm not mistaken. Game of Thrones by George R. R. Martin, which I've read, didn't love. At some point I'll get to the next one. And last but not least, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas, which is actually the exception to that first question, or the second question rather, because I did spend more on this because I really like the cover. I have a paperback copy, but I also got this one on sale. So that's my stack. Question number 4, Crackling Fire. Which book makes you feel warm and cozy? I don't know. A lot of my books are either historical fiction set in the Tudor era or some more ancient era where people get crucified, hanged, or drawn and quartered, none of which is a warm and cozy feeling. I mean, the burning of your entrails is warm, but it's not cozy. Or they're fantasy in which somebody has to save the world, and that isn't really cozy either. I don't know that I have one specific book that makes me feel warm and cozy. Some of my favorites are the Dark Hills Divide series by Patrick Carman, the Boxcar Children, the Mandy series. A lot of them are definitely more in the kids book genre because they're just less stressful than YA or adult books. Number 5, Knee-High Socks. What is the longest book you've read? I believe at the moment War and Peace still holds that record. It's either War and Peace, Les Mis, or Shogun by Leo Tolstoy, the guy who wrote Notre Dame, and for some reason I can't remember his name, Hugo something, and James Clavell, respectively. Those books are all, I believe they're all over 1,200 pages. I know Shogun is If not 1,200, over 1,100. I know War and Peace is 13 something, and Les Mis, I believe, is up in the 12 to 1,300 range. So those are the 3 longest books I've read, to my knowledge. 6, ugly sweaters. What is the ugliest book you own? Ooh, if I still have it. I don't. There was a book I owned that looked like a horrifyingly bad 80s romance book, but it wasn't a romance book. It was about someone who was claiming to be the last of the Romanovs, and she was in the States and something. I never read it because it didn't interest me, but it was one of those where you get a paper bag for $9 and you can fill it with as many books as you can possibly fit in there. And I thought, why not? But I did get rid of that one back in July. So that would have been the ugliest book I own. Otherwise, I like most of my covers. 7, Blizzards. A book set in winter or a book that gives you the chills has dark themes. This one has to go to the Winter Night Trilogy by Catherine Arden. Hands down, no questions asked. This series is set in 13th or 14th century Russia, and it starts out in the hinterlands. Our main character's father is a minor lord and so owns an estate out in the middle of nowhere, Russia, which, to my understanding of Russia, is most of it, because it's huge, and you can't have, I mean, you can, but I digress. Middle of nowhere Russia, it's set in winter, and it has to do with old gods versus orthodoxy, and it's a fantasy series and it's amazing. The atmosphere is the best part of the stories, again, without question. So definitely that one just has a chilly atmosphere and definitely envelops you in that. Number 8, home for the holidays. For the rereaders out there, are there any books that feel like going home? I'd probably say The Enchanted Forest Chronicles by Patricia C. Reed, The Dark Hills Divide by Patrick Carman, Boxcar Children is always a good series for me, Bailey's School Kids, love those, the Mandy series by Lois Gladys Leopard, the Bloody Jack series by L.A. Meyer, or anything by Anne Rinaldi. All of those books were the books that I read somewhere between 4th and 6th or 7th grade. So they are books that I grew up with. They are what I read over and over and over again because I didn't really know that I liked fantasy, and I had a hard time finding historical fiction that I liked at the time. But I found Anne Rinaldi and absolutely loved her. My grandma bought me the Mandy series. Boxcar Children, how can you go wrong? Same with Bailey's School Kids. So those are the series that to me definitely feel like going home because they bring me back to a time when I had actually read every single book on my shelf, and I know the plots and have favorites of each of those series. That was the Cozy Christmas Book Tag. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!